One Punch Man is back with another banger with no fighting scenes whatsoever, but this is without a doubt the most important chapter after the Garo saga. So let's start off with the first page where the Hero HQ employees put the blame on Metal Knight, or Dr. Bovoy in this case, as his defense system got destroyed. And turns out Dr. Bovoy witnessed the entire thing when Saitama broke all of his robots. He couldn't believe it, so he checks his track record and all that, but nothing that could impress him except maybe the fitness test record holder. And based on the videos, he could be stronger than S-Class Hero Bovoy says. But I don't think he's yet to realize that Saitama is the strongest of all. Then he says he's gonna keep an eye on him to see if Saitama could be his enemy or not. And I think this is kinda sus of him because, as we know, he never showed any act of hero-like. He's always pretty much absent when things going bad. And now, he feels threatened by the presence of a fellow hero. I mean, it's just interesting to see what his goals are. But now we're moving on with the scene where Sich, Sekigahara and these four heroes held a meeting 2 days prior to the day Bovoy found out about Saitama. And they're arguing about whether or not to tell the public about this monsterization phenomenon. And then Zombie Man tells the secret of Homeless Emperor that he was given a divine power by God. And then Flashy Flash says that he ran into something and the thing was talking to him via telepathy, trying to grant him a power, and if the vessel wasn't worthy, they'd face forfeiture, it said. And their conclusion is, they both encounter the same thing called God. And now we've arrived to what might be the most important thing of this chapter, the truth about Blast. So it's stated by Sich that Blast has been fighting for over 20 years to fight God. He had a partner and those two formed a group with other many heroes together. And we already know that this cube is what Blast and his team are looking for. But we don't know for sure who this guy standing next to Blast is. Well, you might get a clue if you read the webcomic, but to me it's surprising that this guy used to work alongside Blast, as the webcomic tells almost nothing about Blast. And then it's stated that 2 years ago, which is a year after the Hero Association was founded, Blast fought the Elder Centipede, who was created by God. And finally, we know the truth behind this fight. It turns out that it's not about Blast who was unable to finish him off, but the fight was interrupted by God himself, asking to give him his power to Blast, which he denied. It stated that Blast saw him physically, but somehow the Hero Association couldn't detect his presence at all. So based on what we've seen so far, like when he appeared in front of Homeless Emperor, Garo and Blast, he could show his physical form to his chosen ones. And moving on to the story, Blast decided to quote-unquote disappear from hero activities to fight God because he thinks it is safer that nobody knows about God's existence. So that's the truth. And then Genos proudly says that they should ask Saitama for help, but Sich denies it because the only ones who could help Blast are the ones who are able to manipulate space and time. But then Genos' story time begins. He tells everyone in the room about how Saitama managed to beat Garo, and as expected, they don't believe it. And when they think they could confirm the story, both Saitama and Garo didn't even remember about the fight, which is hilarious. But then Sich comes into conclusion that there might be something that sort of attracts God, that the interaction with his dimension is increasing rapidly, and that something is still under investigation. And then Sich says that Blast will reunite with the Hero Association, which to me is still unlikely that he'll show himself anytime soon, because I think we'll see Flashy Flash, Zombie Man, and My Mask to have some sort of discovery or encountering Saitama first, and Blast will show up after that. I mean, they're obviously curious about Saitama thanks to Genos' long speech about him, like Zombie Man was told by Dr. Genos about someone who loses his hair in exchange for his power, and he sees some connection between Saitama and Dr. Genos' story. Flashy Flash, who has seen Saitama's speed that surpasses his, plus Genos fanboying over him, makes him think that Saitama could be stronger than he looks like. And then My Mask, who thinks that if Genos' story is true, then Saitama could be the ideal hero. And that's it for this chapter. Let me know your thoughts about those huge reveals and what's likely to happen in the next few chapters. See you next time. Peace.